Now, guys, it is the moment of truth, the moment that we have all been waiting for. For those of you that aren't members of the Academy, basically, as a little award, as a momentum to celebrate somebody reaching an awesome milestone, I give all of my students these 10K club awards as soon as they hit £10,000 in revenues. And I think, hitting that kind of milestone is amazing because it shows that the student in question has progressed through the course. They've found a product, they've branded it, they've negotiated, they've battled so many hurdles, and above all, they've got proof of concept and they have sold it to real life people that want to buy their products. So it's an awesome achievement, and I absolutely love celebrating it with my students. So it gives me great pleasure to bring on this young man here, George. So George joined the Academy a day after Taylan. So I interviewed Taylan last month, and now it's George's turn. So I thought that was really cool that they both joined within a day of each other, and they both hit the 10K mark as well within like very similar time frame. I know George kind of had a couple of issues with his product being in stock, and we'll cover that. But what an achievement. And as always, I love doing this because I think it really just highlights how far somebody has come. And, it's a great way to basically remember the occasion. So for those of you that aren't part of the Academy, basically what I say is when you join my Smashers Academy, post a message in the group, introduce yourself, let everyone know what your goals are. And then when you hit that 10K, when you hit that 100K, you can look back on it and you can be like, wow, I really have, come quite far. So here's the message from George. So he's saying he's new to the group on 15th of May, so just over a year. Complete beginner, had no experience. He's a gas engineer and a firefighter, and he was looking to create a profitable business with Amazon FBA. And then here on the right, you can see the 1st of May. He was actually a touch over 10K when he celebrated it. So I don't know if he was showing off there or what. But here you can see his message. He said he's absolutely buzzing. He smashed through the 10K barrier, which he absolutely did. And he's basically just given a bit of information about him selling out initially, which we're going to cover now. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me now bring on the main man himself. George, here we go. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good stuff, mate. Welcome. So I know you've just been in the little green room there. I could see you getting all really excited. But before we kind of kick off and through the questions and things, I just want to know flat out, how did it really feel to hit that 10K mark? I know you said you were buzzing, but can you remember exactly what was going through your mind and how you felt? Because it's an unforgettable milestone, that's for sure, an achievement.
Yeah, it was a great feeling, to be honest, because when I first set out, I sort of always had my sights set on that 10K award, and I thought that's something to aim for. And then when you finally get there, it was just absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, it's and you did it in such a a quick amount of time when you think that you didn't actually launch till, was it November, October you launched? When did you actually launch?
Just at the end of December. Just at the end of December,
right.
Yeah.
And you got that mad Christmas rush, didn't you? I remember you messaging me and you were literally like, what's going on?
Well, I didn't actually know they received my products. I got the email to say Amazon have received your products, but I didn't actually know that I was live. So it was a few days went past, and I checked my Seller Central, and I thought it said I've made a sale. So I thought, here we go, it started.
I mean, does that mean you did that without any advertising?
The one sale, yeah, and then after that, I started turning the pay-per-click on and went from there, really.
Awesome. I'm always so jealous of the students that can get sales without actually doing any pay-per-click advertising. And like, you need to teach me how to do that. So anyway, let's kind of go all the way back to the beginning, just because I know that you're a big name in the Smashers Academy group. You've made a lot of friends, you've made a lot of connections, including myself. But just for the benefit of those that are new to the Smashers Academy, those that are in the public group, I think it's helpful to get a bit of background to yourself. So let's go back to say the day before that you messaged me, because I think that's how you found out about the Academy, wasn't it? Facebook ads. And you sent me a message and was asking questions, but kind of what were you doing just prior to that? How did you, what was your mind?
So yeah, it was just sort of during the first lockdown, really. I was furloughed from work because it went really quiet. So I thought, I've got to try and do something to try and make use of the time, all this time I had off, and started looking into things. And that's when I saw all these different courses and messaged you. And I think I probably messaged you loads of questions asking all about it all. And yeah, I think watched the webinar and it all sort of went from there, really.
So was it anything in particular about Amazon FBA that was kind of appealing to you, or were you just kind of considering everything because you're on furlough and you were just, looking for an additional income stream, I guess? Or were you thinking of that anyway, whether or not you'd been furloughed?
To be honest, I use Amazon. I'll probably get a delivery a day from Amazon. So I have been for years. So I sort of understand the platform, how it all works. And I thought, why not give it a go? That's when I got in touch. And it sort of stemmed from there, really, and watched the webinar. And then by the time I bought the course, I sort of was all in there. And I thought, I've got to make this work.
Absolutely. You got that skin in the game, haven't you? So did you know that individuals sold on Amazon before you kind of came across Amazon FBA, or did you just think it's Amazon and that's who I'll buy from?
No, I knew it was individuals. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Okay.
And
so
you were like, I want a piece of that. I want a piece.
Yeah, I had a friend who used to sell on there a few years ago, so I knew that he obviously was doing it. This was like when it was quite a young thing, but yeah, once I watched the webinar and the process of everything, how it all works, and the sourcing of the products, the labeling it all, and adding your brand to it and everything, I thought that's something I think I'll be able to give that a go, and it sort of went from there.
And then you were absolutely hooked. But I do remember, George, and this I don't blame you, to be honest, because it's a massive consideration that a lot of new people make. I remember you were quite skeptical, and you were asking me how many people fail, and whether it's a kind of real opportunity and stuff like that. So at what point would you say? Well, I hope your mindset has changed, but what point would you say your mindset kind of changed from that to, oh, okay, this is actually something that I think I could do, and it seems achievable?
I probably from after messaging you, and sort of I just wanted to cover all bases, really. I've got a young family, and I didn't want to start just throwing my money at something that potentially could fail. So I wanted to make sure that if I do it, I want to make it work. So I just wanted to cover it all, really. And as soon as I'd sort of signed up for it and you start seeing the results of other people, and you think, I could give that a go.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's stuff like this, isn't it? Like the interaction with people that have actually done it, not just me, to kind of show that
definitely.
If you put your mind to it, then absolutely, you can do it. So, okay, let's just because I think this is always helpful for people to understand. Let's kind of break your timeline down. So you started the course in May 2020, and then you started your product research. So how long was it before you found a product, and then from that, how long was it before you thought the brand, etc.? So what's the story there?
So product research was probably one of the hardest bits. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks to try and find something. But actually, as you know, I had a bit of a problem with the products. I got one. I was in touch with a supplier, and obviously they had. I got quite far down the line. I was set on this product, had all the profit margins worked out and everything. And anyway, I had the sample, loved it, and thought this is it. And then finally found quite a small fault with it. I don't know if you remember this. So anyway, backwards and forwards with them. They were sending me other samples, trying to make it right. And in the end, I had to just cut all my losses with it and start looking for another product. So that was probably the best decision I made, to be honest.
Yeah, but how did that feel at the time? Because I can vaguely remember that, but I imagine that would be pretty devastating to, put a load of time into doing product research. You find a product, you're really excited. And then was it a case of the sample came and you went, what the heck's that? Or what happened there?
No, I had the sample, and I thought it's great. So, but I was trying it I really tested it for a week or so. And I noticed there was a small fault with it. And it's probably, a lot of other people might not have noticed it, but it was really bugging me. And I thought, if that was me, I'm noticing it. I think I sent you one, didn't I? And you were like, oh, it's great. But I was quite critical. And I thought, the last thing I want to do is spend all this money on this product for it then just other people see it, start getting these bad reviews. So I was sort of back to square one, sending out that message to all the suppliers again. And at the time it was gutting, but looking back now, it's the best decision I made, because the actual product that I've got now is a lot better, offers something different to what's already out there, and it seems to be doing well. So yeah, it was that was quite a pivotal point really of it all to make that decision.
And how much time did that add on to the product research? So how long did it take you to get to that stage in the first place of finding the product and the sample?
Well, I did the initial bit with your course. Obviously, it's laid out in it within the 4 weeks or whatever it is. So I did that.
Yeah.
And then I started quite a few weeks, I would say, to find the product. Yeah, it wasn't easy.
Yeah. And I guess, this is definitely one of the most frequent comments that I get from students, people in the group, subscribers on YouTube is, how long does it take to do product research? It's taking me so long. I'm getting demotivated. And I say, well, how long have you been looking? And, sometimes genuinely I've had people say a week or whatnot. So, that again is like a one of the reasons that I always ask on these interviews, how long did it take you to find the product? Because the most common answer is actually 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. Like, it's one of those things, isn't it, where when it happens, it just happens. But when you found this product then, and you kind of thought you figured it out with the supplier, what was your thought process? Did you think this is a perfect product and, no issues with it, it's going to get 5 stars constant? Or you just like, do you know what? I've done so much research here and I'm as confident in this as I'm going to be. What was how did you feel when you found that, winning product?
Still skeptical. I mean, I was sure the product was good. I've been using it and I was happy with it. And funnily enough, the same product had just launched on Amazon USA to someone selling it there. So I could sort of track their sales, track their reviews, and I could see it was doing well there. And I thought, there's an opportunity here. If I could launch this product here before someone else, I sort of had a bit of proof already from that market. But at the same time, I was a bit thinking, is the market the same? I was watching their reviews every day. They'd get a couple of bad reviews and I'm thinking, oh no, I've just invested all this money. Is it all going to be wasted? And I think in the end, you told me, look, stop looking at theirs. It's a different market. You'll be your branding. I was confident I could do the listing better. There was things I could see I could improve. So yeah, that was it really.
I think that's a really good tip actually to the people watching. So, if you're just doing general product research, or if you find a product that you like the look of, go onto the Amazon US site, go onto Amazon Australia, wherever, and just see if other people are selling it there. And then you can look at the reviews and you can kind of get, lots of tips for how to make the product better or any changes.
So many more products in my niche on the USA site. It's amazing how many different products of the same thing there are when you have a look on there and search the same keyword. Unbelievable.
It's great ideas as well for you to differentiate further. But actually, this is kind of testament to the fact that you've done such an amazing job with your branding, which we can come on to, is that your product is actually overall, it's doing quite well, isn't it, with reviews? Whereas, like you said, when you messaged me a couple of months ago or last year, you were like, Jansen, the exact same product in the US market, the reviews suck and I'm really worried. And I was like, mate, don't worry, this happened to me. Like, you'll be able to kind of manage those with, the branding and your customer service and all that. And I think you've had a ton of 5 stars, haven't you, that comment on that as well, not just the product, but the brand and the customer service.
Yeah. I mean, my supplier, funnily enough, actually started selling my products, but it's like a different color, unbranded. The box must be unbranded. The listing's not good at all, and their rating is quite low, if I'm honest. Where I'm selling the exact same product, and mine's showing 4.5, 4.6, and it just shows you the power of having that branding, personal message, the insert card and everything. It's the same product, but the star difference from mine to theirs, just from the listing and the whole picture of the brand.
And I bet when you saw that, you thought, scum, absolute scum.
Yeah, I did.
Did you say anything? Did you say anything to them?
I have done before. I said, look, you're selling the same product as me, and they're offering more things than what I am. because they obviously can. So I'm like, this isn't fair. How are we going to compete trying to sell something?
That's a vermin. But I think if that doesn't prove about the power of the branding and the quality of the listing and customer service and all that, then nothing will. Because I mean, from what you told me, it seems like they've basically given up on that. They've got a really high BSR, so that means their sales are low. They've got a rubbish review score, and the listing, it just sucks, doesn't it? It's really poor.
Yeah, it's not good at all. It's not good.
So, but no, you have done a fantastic brand job of branding, and actually, this is something I did want to talk to you a bit about in terms of the thought process behind the name. So, a lot of students of mine say they have problems with coming up with a brand name. So, it'd be interesting to understand, how did you do it? Did you write down tons of names? Did you go on a generator? Like, how did you come up with it?
Yeah, I've basically started with a pen and paper, thinking everything. I think of every single word I can match to the brand, to the niche, trying to think of something catchy. And I was thinking about a brand name for probably 2 weeks or so.
Really?
I spent a lot of time on it, and I actually even messaging people on Fiverr, giving them the brand, trying to get some other ideas. Like, there's companies on there that do branding and brand names, and they brainstorm these names for you. So I actually went down that route, which gave me some good ideas. I wasn't set on any of them, but it sort of spurred on to other sort of names, and it sort of went from there. So I spent a lot of time.
I think it's a really clever name as well, and the logo is brilliant. And it's something that's associated with the product, isn't it? The brand name. Was that kind of something that you wanted to do, or would you prefer to keep it general? I mean, me, for example, all my products, the brands are associated with the niche they're in rather than a general one, whereas other people prefer to kind of go very, very broad and go like, I don't know, Jansen X or something, that can kind of apply to anything. Is that something that you were thinking about in terms of expanding further down the line, or?
I just wanted to keep it something linked to the product, and also something that's memorable and catchy. So I didn't just want to come out. Everything that I wanted to do with this business was to be high standards for listing images, for everything, brand name, and try and get everything as best I can. And the brand name was no different. So I sort of spent a lot of time thinking about it and asking my wife, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Messaging Sam, Taylan, others in the group. I spent a lot of time on it, but
you did. And I think one of the things that I say in the webinar training is it's all about success in this game is all about execution. So, you could find the best product in the world, but if the branding is poor, if the listing is poor, if the supplier is no good, then it's not going to succeed. And I think that's something that you have absolutely nailed. Every single step you've executed to the best of not only your ability, but if you can't do it, you've hired someone to do it for you. So your logo is really good, your listing is really good, the packaging, like, it's all seamless, and it's awesome. So well done on that. One thing that I did want to ask you about as well is your social media. So I follow one of your accounts, and I think a number of others that you've shared the product with follow you as well, and they've all said how active it is with posting content and running competitions and stuff. So can you teach the guys how you did that, basically, because it's something that I'd like to learn as well.
So to start with, I just set it up and sort of just so I had a bit of a presence, and then I thought I could probably do this myself. And because I had quite a bank of pictures for all my listed images. Anyway, I started posting, and I posted all my listed images, and I got to a point I ran out of pictures. I had nothing left to post. So I went on to Fiverr again and got a company on there. Looked through all their posts, messaging them, trying to find a company which their content looked really good, and that good communication. I went from there, got a company to handle it, briefed them with everything that I wanted them to put, and I thought giveaway is a great idea. I've run 2 now. I think the last one I had hundreds of entries, which was right before my next launch, so it sort of got me a lot of followers.
And you got you that little velocity, which is fantastic. So because you've got quite a lot of reviews through that as well, haven't you? And I'm sure I remember you saying your follower count spiked massively one day. Is that because you got regrammed or retweeted or whatnot by somebody else?
Yeah, so there was an account. Basically, they did a reel using my product, and I was getting all these website views, and it was coming up another view, and I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here? Something's been shown somewhere. And anyway, then this account messaged me and said, look, this reel I've shared, it's had over 100,000 views. I was like, wow, that was obviously why, and it was bang on then. So I was getting, unfortunately at the time I was out of stock, so it was a bit gutting. But there you go. It got me a lot of followers, and a lot of these people have messaged, and now they're on the mailing list. And I messaged them all to say, look, I'm back in stock now. So I got quite a few sales with that to help with my launch.
Awesome. And, you know, if you can do it once, I'm sure you can absolutely do it again. So your product is very good actually for TikTok, Instagram, you know, like doing a video on it. It's not one of those where it's like, my products are quite difficult to do a viral video with, but yours are really good. So that's a great tip. Just out of interest, how much do you pay roughly for the social media work?
I think it was about $100 for the month for the first company that I used, and that included like basically engagement. So every day they were commenting on things, and the followers were just shooting up because they were engaging with all these accounts, and they were posting and doing stories. And then I got another company on board, which was, it was like £50 for the month, and that was like a post every day, stories. Yeah, it was unbelievable value what you can get from some of these people on Fiverr.
Awesome.
We've
got a question there from Lynn, who's asking if it's off Instagram. So was it purely Instagram?
It was Instagram. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page as well, but that's sort of just there. So if they do ever look it up, I've got a bit of a presence, but I'm not very active on there, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's the kind of got a lot more engagement anyway, hasn't it, than kind of Facebook posts or whatnot. So there you go, guys. That's an awesome tip. You know, if you want help with building your brand off Amazon, you know, Instagram posts are a great way, and you don't have to do it yourself. You can hire somebody. And you've been directing people to your website, haven't you, George?
Yeah, been directing them to the website. Well, but on my Instagram page now, it's just to my Amazon listing, if I'm honest. It just sends them straight there, because I think with that, they can see all the reviews. They can see, the video. There's a bit more to show on there, all the questions that have been asked. So I'll just link them directly to there now.
Yeah, and it helps you rank as well. Good old rank.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about the launch strategy itself. So you said, I mean, it doesn't sound like you really had a launch strategy, because you said earlier you just started getting sales and you didn't even realize you were kind of live. But once you did realize you were live, what kind of happened? Had you already started getting reviews, or what was the process?
Yeah, so I didn't have any reviews yet, so I sort of didn't have any pay-per-click to start with. I was just waiting to filter my reviews in. Then I started turning the pay-per-click on when the reviews started to roll in. And yeah, I think the first time round I only had 200 units, so I think I set it to £10 budget a day, and that was that really. And then this time round, before that, I've obviously had the Instagram page running, and I went quite aggressive to start with on the pay-per-click on the second time round for the 1,000 units. But yeah, a bit too aggressive, and then realised, well, actually, I'm about to go out of stock if I keep selling at this rate. So I've turned it all off now, put my price up a bit, turned it off, and I think I have about a £5 budget, and just let the organic sales come in, because that initial burst got me some organic rank.
Yeah.
And from there, I've just maintained it. Pay-per-clicks turned off. So yeah, my ACOS is...
What are you doing kind of sales per day now then with no PPC?
Roughly 15 to 20.
I'm mega jealous. I'm mega jealous with that, considering that it's your second order. I mean, that shows, you know, that your profit margin's unharmed by PPC. You've got that £5 a day, which is, I mean, your selling price is nearly 40 quid. And how much are you making per unit, roughly?
About £9.
£9. I mean, yeah, you can't complain at that, can you? Over 100 quid profit per day, and you're probably selling now whilst you're talking to me, so you're getting paid for this interview.
Hopefully,
I don't have to do you any favors, George.
Yeah, I mean, I think most important thing is like to have the listing to be 10 out of 10, because when you go my conversion rate, I might not be getting all the views if I'd have had all my pay-per-click on, but for those reviews, the conversions sometimes like 50-60% of people that look at it, they're buying it. So I think that's really important. So that's saving me money.
Conversion.
It has been on days, yeah, it's 40 to 60 generally.
Gee, I mean, my conversion is 30%. I'm pretty gobsmacked at that. I'm jealous. There's all sorts of emotions running through my mind. That's incredible, 60%. And do you think it's that 6 out of 10 people clicking and buying? Do you think that is down to the product, the listing? Like, what do you think is the main reason for that?
I would say it's having high standards for everything. So
Yeah.
I made sure the renders were spot on. I made sure the infographics were spot on. I didn't skimp on anything, so I paid like top dollar really for all of these things. For that reason, I had a video made. I think that was $900 at the time. It's like that's a lot of money, but I get majority of my sales now through that video. So I just think it was money well spent at the time. It was hard to pay it, but yeah,
it's paid for itself already, though, right? So if
exactly,
making £100 profit a day, at least, you've been selling this. How long have you been selling this batch for? About a month now.
Probably about a month, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for your second order, that's incredible. It's really, really well done.
Thank you.
So okay, let's move on to kind of like a summary of the journey, and then we're going to open the floor up to the guys watching. As I said, guys, please be gentle. So you can ask George anything about his journey, anything about how he's found things, etc. Or you can ask me anything to do with Amazon FBA. But before we kind of run through those, let's just continue more generally. So what's been the highlight so far, George, of the journey? And you're not allowed to say meeting me, right?
Yeah, that, and probably the biggest highlight would have been probably when you start to get the 5-star reviews come in, because up until that time you could be making all these sales, so you could be selling loads, but at the end of the day, if the product's rubbish and people don't like it, you haven't got a business. So when the reviews started coming in, that's when you think actually this can work.
I agree wholeheartedly. I remember my first real 5-star, and I was getting lunch at work, and I remember checking it, and I was like, hang on, someone's actually given this a 5-star, and they freaking love the product. They've written me like a paragraph, and I was just, I agree with you. I think I've said this before, sometimes getting nice 5-star reviews or nice emails from customers, like kind of your appreciation, it can actually mean a lot more than the making the actual money.
I mean, it's mad to think that there's people out there, one, buying it all across the country, using it, and taking their time to email me to say how much they like it and leaving 5-star reviews and stuff. It's it's quite a good feeling to do that.
It reminded me, George, of that message you sent me where a customer emailed you and said, "You are an absolute genius for inventing this," and you were like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I'll take it.
You were like, "No, it's not private label. I did actually invent this in the lab."
Yeah, of course.
I've had that a few times, and I just say, well, that's me. I'm an inventor. So okay, so we spoke about your best moment, but with reviews. Let's also have a quick chat about the negative reviews. We spoke about it with Taylan, where he basically went on some sort of absolute killing spree when he got his first 1-star. But what are your feelings and thoughts towards getting 1-stars? Obviously, it's not positive, but do you kind of just take it as it comes, or what's your strategy?
I think having some negative reviews is not a bad thing, if I'm honest, because I think if you've got all just 5 stars, no negatives, it probably looks a little bit suspect. So I don't mind having 1 or 2 here and there. But as long as there's 5 stars to outweigh them. But I've recently had one, and I've had 2 1-stars actually. And the first lady who used it on the same day, she'd left 2 1-stars, and I've checked since. I gave her a refund for the product for starters, and I sent her out another product. I sent her a really nice long message. I sent her a follow-up message to say, how was it? Did you receive it? Nothing. Dead. Ghosts me.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. Vermin, I mean, we were saying this just before the chat. My strategy used to be the same as yours. Whenever I got a 1-star, I would do my absolute best to track them down, message them, apologize, send them a freebie. And 50% of the time, they'd take the freebie and then they'd give me a 1-star still, or they wouldn't remove it. So I kind of thought, you know what, I've got enough reviews now to not do that. But again, I think what you've done, same as Taylan, you executed that customer service part really well. You're pretending to be a lady, are you?
Yeah, yeah. My product sort of is probably more geared towards ladies. So yeah, I am.
And it works. It works.
It
I
works.
think you've said to me a number of times you've had complaints and stuff, and you've completely disarmed them by saying,
Exactly. Yeah.
"I'm really sorry. We're a UK company. We, our passion is helping customers, etc."
Yeah, I've had
So,
like angry emails directly to my email address on the insert card, and instantly I'll just try and get back to them within like the hour. I write a long message to them, apologising. I'm so sorry this has happened. We're a small UK family-run company. This is way below the standards we like to uphold, etc., etc. I just send them another one out, like no questions asked, really, because at the end of the day, doing that will help you more in the long run than questioning them. Oh, can you take a picture of it? And they're just going to be angry, and they're just going to go end up leaving you 1 star, and that's going to affect
I
your
agree.
sales.
I agree. You want to avoid 1 star if you can.
Definitely.
So, okay, so we've spoken about the highlights and getting the 1 star reviews. Has there been anything that has been really challenging for you that you think it would be beneficial for the group to hear about? So maybe a lesson learned of doing something a different way.
The most challenging thing has been my product's quite a big product, so to actually ship it over here is just so expensive. It sort of cuts out the option for 3PL. I mean, I have 4 units per carton, which so 1,000 units, 250 cartons. That's like nearly a container load. I can't store that in the lounge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's every time I've sort of had to get it directly from supplier and send it straight into Amazon, which has been a bit of a headache and also massive costs involved to do that. Yeah, that'd be the only sort of. I mean, I wouldn't recommend not to do it, and wouldn't get put off by doing importing a big product, but it's definitely something to consider.
Definitely something to consider, yeah. And I think this is definitely a big theme in the Amazon FBA world at the moment with increasing shipping costs. And of course, Amazon's kind of like shipping limits to say how much you can send in. But, I like to be positive. I like to kind of look on the bright side. It's not just UK sellers that rising shipping costs are impacting. It's Chinese, it's American, it's European, it's everybody, right? And obviously, we're not going to do this for free. I've noticed it in my niche recently. The prices are ticking up, and I think that's what has to happen, right? It's not like you're just saying, "Oh, shipping costs are going to increase, therefore that's it. It's not affordable to do anymore." If it's impacting everyone, then everyone's prices are going to increase.
Yeah,
So
it's just going to have a knock-on effect, isn't it? At the end of the day,
the customer,
the consumer is going to be paying the cost for it.
Yeah. But even more on the bright side, think how awesome it's going to be next year, hopefully, when container prices come down. At the moment, they're about $11,000 for a container. Before COVID, I believe they're about 3,000. So think of that, what that's going to do to your profit margin.
And that's I sort of had that in the back of my head for this 1,000 unit order. So I think shipping comes to about £8,000, and I'm thinking, this is so expensive, but there was still some profit there. I'm thinking, well, if I could do it now, get these units out, get these units sold, build the brand, get the reviews in, and then in the future, hopefully, the shipping costs will start to stabilise and let the profit margin start to increase as well. So that was, it was tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was discussing this with Taylan the other day. The Smashers Academy members could just literally buy a container together. If we're all shipping at the same time, we could just ship directly to the port, get it done, and you'd save a fortune. So
have our own logistics team.
I'm gonna be looking into that to see if it's feasible. I think you and Taylan definitely could do it because you've both got fairly sizable products, and the shipment times are similar. I know he's getting a load made now, and so are you. Just a thought, mate. It's just a little tip for you. So, and for the rest of the guys watching, let's all club together and just beat everybody with shipping because we just have our own. We could even get our own boat. I'll be the captain. So I really wish I could see some of your guys' names. I've got like good idea and stuff from invisible Facebook users because you've not accepted permissions. But I'll read it after, and I'll give you a like. So, okay, I actually do have this question next. I think we've kind of answered, but well, you kind of hinted at it. But what do you think has been the key to your success of basically launching, selling without pay-per-click advertising initially, and then, you know, basically just absolutely smashing it in all aspects and hitting that 10K in record time?
Basically, just have high standards for everything. I think you remember when I was going through my infographics and renders, I was probably sending them to you, sending them to the other people I speak to in the group. What do you think of this? What could be better? What could be changed? Yeah. And I spent so much time on the details, everything. It wasn't like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, get that in. That's a good product. Get it in. I wanted to make sure that this worked and everything to be a very high standard. And I think that all comes together, and it represents the brand, especially when people are looking and they see this video which looks ultra professional. It makes the brand look like they're like a proper brand and not just some plumbing and heating engineer with a laptop.
Much more than that, mate. Much more. And I'd echo that as well. I think you, just like Sam, just like Taylor, just like all the 10K winners, and, you know, other guys in the group, you're not afraid to ask questions. You know, I, as you know, love answering Amazon FBA questions, and you know, are more than happy to throw them at me. And I think that's one of the reasons that you've had a lot of success. You ask questions, you're inquisitive, and yeah, you know, just basically echoing what you said there. That's definitely one of the reasons that I thought you were so successful as well. And the execution point, you know, doing everything to the best that you could, rather than saying, do you know what, I'm going to invest everything in stock and then I'll just take a picture on my phone, or, you know, I'll just write a listing, you know, myself in 5 minutes and whatnot. So, okay, what we're going to do now is we are going to open up to the viewers. So, guys, if you've got any questions for George, if you want to learn more about, you know, his journey, anything particular that he said in more detail, do ask. And if you've got a question to do with Amazon FBA for me, you can ask as well. We are intending to run till 7. I don't mind going just a touch over that if there are plenty of questions. But let's have a look, George. So are you ready? So we've got a Facebook user here saying, at the point of discussing changes or remodeling of the product, did you go through a manufacturer or trading company? And how did you handle this? Did you sign an NDA, so a non-disclosure agreement?
Yeah, this was direct with the manufacturer. So I was in touch with her every day. I think I'd get up early and get on the laptop, and basically we were probably talking for weeks and weeks. So we built quite a good relationship, and this was the product I was set on, basically, with this first product I was looking at. And I think I came across as like a big professional company. I wanted to place with this big order, so they were quite keen to get me on board. So they were sort of going out their way to make these changes, and they were sending me, we've improved it, and they sent me another one. I said, okay, I'll try it, we'll see. And every time it was a bit better, but there was a flaw. There's a couple of flaws with it, and to do that, they've had to change their mold, which obviously probably would have cost them thousands. And they said, look, we can't do it. I've kept in touch with them, didn't close the door with them, and said, look, maybe we'll work together in the future if you can sort the product, or if you can come up with other products. But yeah, kept it on good terms, and that was it.
And did you sign any non-disclosure agreement? Did you literally just say, yeah, this is the plan I'm going with, and that's it?
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything like that, if I'm honest, no.
It's a bit of a tricky one, actually, because I mean, I've got some exclusive products with my supplier now, and I haven't actually got them to sign an NDA, because I mean, my mindset is, you know, what could you do to enforce it, given they're all the way over there? I mean, my relationship with my supplier is massively built on trust, and that goes two ways. They send products for me now, and I haven't even paid for them, you know, because they know that I'm not going to just disappear. But did you, you know, I guess as well for you, given that you've probably been interacting with the supplier every single morning for however long, you haven't done the tail end strategy of sending flowers or anything to get, you know, closer. But you know,
I did follow his tips. Yeah, sent them a gift.
Did you?
That seemed to go down well. Yeah.
What did you send?
Just some chocolates, I think, for them, just for the colleagues, and just a card, just saying thank you all so much.
You dark horse, you get that one quiet. I thought it was just
Taylor knew. He taught me learn from the best.
Damn, he's going to come out with a course, and there's going to be a whole module on it. What chocolates to buy. So how did your supplier react to that?
They just sent me a message and thanks so much. I think they appreciated it. It's just a token, really, just to say yeah, just a token of our appreciation. It was only a small gift, but
yeah, no, and it
yeah,
goes. To be honest, it's the it's kind of the thought and the fact that you've done it. I think it's fantastic. I really need to get my act together and do it to mine, because mine's brilliant and literally replies to me at all hours. But I just didn't want to send flowers because he's a guy. But
yeah,
I might do the chocolate idea. So I'll probably be
yeah,
messaging you after this to find out what site you use actually.
yeah. I've
So
actually
okay,
got,
so
yeah.
go on. Sorry, I cut you off there.
I've actually got a lady that I use a Fiverr, and she can go. Cause I sent them something else since from my next order just as a thank you. But she goes to the shop and she's sending me pictures on WhatsApp of all the chocolates, and so she just sends it for like for nothing basically. I just
That's
send her
fantastic.
give her a little bit of extra money, but yeah,
Yeah, so you can get like local treats and stuff. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm definitely going to be
yeah,
messaging you with that. I do want to be a kind of thoughtful with mine. So yeah, I could probably do with some guidance. Okay, so we've got Mr. or Mrs. Facebook user is saying, did you use or do you use the Platinum Helium 10 for searching for the product?
yeah, yeah. I was on Helium 10. I think product research. I was on it every night. I think trying to punch in
It's
different sort of metrics to try and find stuff, and yeah, and checking the data. I mean, I think it's essential
essential,
to use
absolutely. Do
it.
you still use it now that you're a seller?
To be honest, every now and then I might look at the main keywords and see how the other sellers are doing. I check my keyword ranking. I use the email follow up tool, which is good. But to be honest, I don't use hardly any of the tools on there for what I'm paying for it. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the tools that you do use
follow
are
up?
what's that? Sorry.
Do you use them for follow up emails to get your reviews?
Yeah, yeah, they're all set up on there, so I use them for that.
Yeah, you definitely should make as much use out of those tools as you can. I mean, I use it near enough every day. You know, checking your rank, checking like listing optimization and product research in general for helping
Yeah,
students and
definitely.
stuff. Okay, cool. So we have got Tony in the house. How many hours per week are you spending on your business now? It's a good question.
I mean, I work full time, so when I get in, I probably spend half an hour having a look, checking the rank, replying to any emails. If I get a refund, I'll message them. Just sort of keeping on top of it, doing invoicing, stuff like that. And then other than that, that's it really. It just sort of runs itself. But the
Yeah.
only time I do have to is when it's just trying to arrange the logistics side, trying to speak to the freight forwarder, place another order. That's the biggest time consuming bit. Getting the
Definitely.
units here and trying to
then
work out where you can your stock
Amazon, you're good.
Mm.
Yeah, cool. I think that's really impressive, and I suppose your out time per day is lower as well because there's no PPC. But half an hour a day, you can't complain. And I guess some days, if you'd have had PPC running, you'd probably be getting paid more from doing that than your actual job. And if you're making 100 quid with no PPC, imagine what you'd be making with it.
Yeah,
So,
just wish I had the stock to back it up, and then I could just ramp the pay-per-click up and just try and rank for every single keyword. And because it was starting to ramp up, and then I got to a point I thought this is pointless. I'm just going to run out of stock.
Yeah.
You'll
get there, my friend. You'll get there. No hesitation
hopefully.
Saying that. You'll be getting the 100K soon, I'm sure. Do you know what your total revenue to date is?
No, I can have a look. I'm not sure off the top of my head, if I'm honest.
Yeah, have a look while we go through this. So, okay, this is another good one. Mr. and Mrs. Facebook user. Have you hired someone for answering emails from customers? And maybe doing social media questions?
No, if I'm honest, I haven't. I just sort of I don't get that many questions. I might get the odd question on Instagram, or I get the odd message or the odd email, but I just try and get home or respond to them as quickly as I can.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably not enough there to start paying someone else to do it.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that you've retained, George. So George is a man who likes to outsource. He's done his social media. He did PPC, and then said, actually, no, I haven't got enough stock. I admire you for that. I wish I could do that. I'm somebody that likes a bit too much control, so I'm just kind of like, no, I'll do it, and so yeah,
I think I've outsourced everything.
Yeah, you make use of Fiverr. You make very good use of Fiverr. Okay, so someone else again, anonymous. Are you planning to launch more products?
in the long run, I'd like to. Yeah, I just want to get this one because the product's so big. There's difficulties getting it here, and it's quite expensive to buy it, to have the money up front to get the stock. So I just want to get this one selling, stable, sort of flowing well. As soon as that's done, I start making the profit starts building up. Because at the moment, any profit I'm having to put back onto more stock. So in the long run, possibly, yeah, in the long run. But for now, just going to focus all energy on this one product.
You've got a lot of avenues, I think, with your brand as well to expand. But I agree. I think you should be dominate this niche. You know, your sales at the moment are actually a very small fraction of what they could be if you were getting full pelt. I'd say they're at least 10%. So you know, you've got a lot of room to grow. First, we've got Taylan. I'm just going to read this now just to slag him off. Should we start our own mentorship program? Don't even think about it, mate. Otherwise, you're getting the
great idea. I'll message you in a bit, mate.
Oh, here we go. Right. Okay. So somebody, again, anonymous, is saying, how much did you start with, if you don't mind me asking? So yeah, roughly starting capital.
Well, originally, I think I did a 200 unit test order, which I can't remember how much that year. I think it was about 5,000 to get that lot here. And then, as I say, since then I've had 2 orders of 1,000 units, and they've been about 15,000 each. But my product's quite expensive.
Yeah. So you've been,
shipping's been 8,000 per order for 1,000 units, and then on top of that, you got your unit price. So yeah, it's expensive, but there's still enough room there to make some money on it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is expensive for that type of product, but I think, you know, that's not unique to Amazon FBA, right? That's just down to your product. And I think what's important to point out there is the fact that you said you did a test order of 200 units. So that 200 units doesn't need to cost $5,000 or whatnot. And did you think that test order was worth doing, or did you think you should have just gone straight ahead with 500 units, 1,000 units?
No, 100%. It was worth doing. It gave me confidence knowing that actually, yeah, this can work. Because all the time you've got your money at stake, you're thinking, I could just get a load of 1-star reviews. And if you've just spent for 1,000 units, yeah, it could be devastating, especially if you've obviously got a young family. So
yeah, the supplier accepts it. Definitely go with the 200. Okay, we've got a general question here, George, but I know you're going to be able to answer this one. So when any freebies to be provided to an angry customer, do we need to use the Amazon channel again? So what do you do when that happens?
It depends. Usually they've messaged me through Amazon, and I just send them a nice long friendly message apologizing, and yeah, I'll just basically say I'll do it through there, and I'll send you another product. This is way below the standard we like to keep, etc., etc. And I'll just send them another one out, whether that's on email or Amazon. It makes no difference really, or Instagram.
Yeah. And you get Amazon to dispatch it, do you, rather than you posting it yourself? Or no, I think you definitely posted some before, haven't you? Because I remember you sending me pictures.
That's the point, yeah. So sometimes there's been like, they've had something wrong with a certain part of it, because there's different parts of the product. So I've got some stock here, and I've boxed them up, like the item. I've done a handwritten note saying, thank you so much for your order, etc., from blah, 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 blah. Sent them a really nice handwritten message, tissue paper, just to give it that extra touch. And also what I've done is I've sent them another product as well sometimes. Well, yeah, every time. Just so, one, they've got that product, which so then they've got 2 products. They've got the spare, which makes their one that was faulty work. And in the meantime, here's another one. And because of that, I've got some really good reviews of it. People saying the customer service is unbelievable. So yeah,
awesome, real initiative there, showing a true entrepreneur. Love it. We've got a fantastic comment here. I'm not sure who it's from. I've got a sneaking suspicion who it is, but you don't need to send Chinese suppliers expensive gifts. Happy with chocolates, biscuits, coffee, sweets, especially from the UK. I love that tip, and I think you've just given me a good idea. You could just send UK wine gums, fruit pastels, dairy milk. I think that's brilliant, and that is again testament to why I love these Facebook groups, because it's just, you know, swapping tips and tricks. You'd never be able to pick that up if you were just kind of looking on YouTube, would you?
Well, the first time I sent them something, I actually did that. I got all like these English sweets, like shortbreads. I thought, oh, they're probably quite like that because It's something they probably can't buy over there. And it was a personal message from me, sent it. 30 days later, 40 quid later, 30 days later, it was lost in the post. They never received it.
Oh, no,
So I did all that effort and time, and I was like, did you ever get it? And they're like, no. So someone somewhere has eaten all those chocolates.
Some absolute greedy postman. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And actually, they my supplier anyway, they love like Western culture and stuff. Mine made me laugh the other day because he calls me mate now because I don't know where he's picked that up from. And I said, where did you learn the word mate? And he said Netflix. He said, I love Sherlock and Peaky Blinders. I thought it was really funny him saying that. So yeah, definitely some really good tips there, guys. Some definitely ones that I'll be taking away. We've got Sam in the house. So have you started taking anything out yet, or are you reinvesting everything?
No, nothing at all. Everything I'm just sort of putting straight back into more stock. And to be honest, I don't have any plans of taking anything out for a long time. I think it's just going to reinvest, build the brand. And then once this product is successful, and once it's selling well, I will start to look at other products and go from there, really, with a view maybe to, once I've built the brand, maybe try and get it in retail shops and potentially sell the brand off if I can get to that point.
I mean, my background in banking and finance, so I see these things a lot, just from friends sending me and stuff. The amount of money flowing into like private equity funds, and their job is to buy private label brands on Amazon and kind of overtake these. And it's happening so much at the moment. I know somebody that recently sold their business for 8 figures, and they were selling quite a rudimentary product on Amazon UK. So and that brand was only about two or 3 years old. So that, to me, that's the long-term goal, rather than kind of taking out dividends, so to speak. For me, it would be reinvest, sell to somebody else, and then I love it, so I'd start again. But you'd probably sooner be on a beach, sipping a cocktail, chilling out. Okay, guys, so we are at 7:10 now. So I'm just going to run through the final questions. So Neri's asking, how many types of product do you have? So George has just got the one product at the moment.
Correct, yeah.
And then our final question, again from Anonymous, is how many quotes did you get at the start, and how did you finally pick the supplier? Which is a great question.
So I reached out to probably 10, 20 different suppliers of Alibaba, and then whittled that down quite quickly to the ones that weren't very good at communicating. Probably got it down to about 5, which were, the product looked good, communication was good, got those sent to me, and then whittled it down again to like 1 or 2 products, and sort of went from there. Sort of process of elimination. Start with a big amount, no good, and then till I got to like this one supplier, that one didn't work out, so I had to go and do it again. And same process again, really, until I found this one product. The supply was good, communication was good, the company online, their business looked good. You could see everything, all their stats and everything, and I thought, this is the one.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to have a good supplier, isn't it? And to have someone that can reply to questions and speak English and all sorts. I mean, the level of English my supplier has is amazing, and it really is a massive help when you can just say, this product has this problem, you need to fix this, and they understand it straight away. So it's fantastic. So George, before we go, I know you got the 10K Club award. Do you have it to hand, just so I can
it's on the table there.
Let's have a look. I love it, because I don't think the pictures do it justice. So have you got it on the wall? There you go. Look at that, guys. So for those of you that are new to the academy, or you're in the public group, if you're a member of the Smashers Academy and you hit 10K, then you get one of those bad boys. It's a bit similar to the YouTube plaque. You put it on your wall, you take it down, you take it to the pub, you just show off and you say, look, I'm an absolute e-com wizard. So but no, George, honestly, I mean, it's fairly obvious from the constant chats we have on Messenger and all that I think you've done an incredible job. You're an absolutely delightful bloke. I love answering your questions, no matter what time it is and no matter what they are. Before we go, was there anything that you kind of wanted to, end on? Do you think, is there any like a big tip that you'd like to give people watching, or maybe a few words of encouragement to stop people from giving up on, achieving their dreams?
I would say, yeah, just keep high standards with everything. Really, that's probably my main takeaway from this. Try and make everything the best that you can make it. I mean, make sure the listing's good, and obviously be sure that the product's good. I mean, it's pointless having an amazing listing. They get the product and you just end up getting 1-star reviews, or vice versa. The product's amazing, but your listing's terrible. No one's going to buy it. That's the only thing people can see when on Amazon is your images. You've got to make sure they're good. Make sure the video is good, the wording's good. I think I got you and Ella to do my wording, my listing wording. But yeah, so that would be my main point.
Yeah, brilliant. Exactly. It's all about the execution, doing everything to the best of your ability. And so, George, mate, this is the end of it now. I know you were a bit nervous before, but you were fantastic. I've learned a load of tips. I'm going to go and buy some wine gums now and shop and post them. But yeah, thank you very much, George, and everyone for watching, for spending your Sunday evenings with us. It's been a pleasure as always. Those of you in the public group, if you want to join these in the future, message me and we can talk about you joining the academy. And the academy members, keep on trucking along. Have a great week. Keep me posted. Any questions you've got, any concerns, whatever, reach out to me. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Cheers, Jansen.
Cheers, mate.